Great morning, sunshines. 2 days in a row. We missed a week, guys. Well, pretty much a week, almost a full week. That was a sad story, but here we are again. So happy Tuesday. We're gonna do our miracle morning together. Set our day up for success, for happiness, for excitement, for passion, and just live into you guys as much as I can. Thank you again for your messages from yesterday. You guys are super active in messaging me, and I love it, love it, love it. So we always start off by saying good morning, sunshine. So good morning, sunshine. Megan always starts off with heart eyes, which I love. Michael Burton, what's going on, buddy? I'll see you in like 12 days, I think. How awesome is that? Morning, Rodney, twice. I'm not sure how that works. Good morning, Victoria. Your daughter is adorable, by the way. She was so cute last night. Good morning, Kayla. How's everybody doing today? Write your good morning, sunshine, when you guys pop on, okay? Or hashtag GMS. That way I know you're participating, you're actively listening. Good morning, Michelle. It's been forever. Good morning, Helen. And then we start off with our gratitudes, right? So every day, just warm up our hearts, our spirits by talking about gratitude. And this could be around anything in your life. So share something, and you guys, it actually internally changes about like how you feel about the day. So it's great to start your day off this every day. I go to bed every night going through my entire gratitude list, which is awesome. And today I will say I am thankful, because this is what the video is gonna be partially about, but I am thankful that I finally get to use my freaking arm. This guy, remember this guy? After 6 months, guys, it's been 6 months. So I have been basically left-handed for 6 months. I could lift 1 pound with this one for the last 6 weeks, but aside from that, like no use. So you guys, having 2 arms, super cool. So if you don't know like your gratitude for the day, then maybe just pick, I've got 2 arms, and that's a very cool gratitude to have, right? 2 legs to walk on, 2 arms, whatever, like whatever function you have, sometimes we forget how valuable that is until it's gone. So that's my gratitude for the day. Share something you're grateful for. Good morning, Tammy. How are you? Good to see you yesterday. And then the next thing that we do is with our savers each week, silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, and reading according to the day of the week. We go, we just kind of share what we're doing with that. Today is A, which is affirmations. So share one of your affirmations you're talking to yourself about. And what an affirmation is, you can go way back to the beginning of our videos, but it's positive self-talk, basically to train your mind to reinforce the things that you're creating in your life, whether they're in your life now or you're creating them in your life later. So it could be like right now, I am happy, I am healthy, I am excited, I am successful. It could be things that I'm living into, like I have an incredible memory, I am super organized, I mean, like anything, right? That's something that maybe I'm not quite great at yet, but I'm living into it, right? So oh yeah, look at that. I'm just reading through your guys' comments here. Miss you too, Jose. Good morning, sunshine. It's been forever, dude. You haven't been in here for a long time. So share something that you're grateful for in addition today, and practice doing that every day. I really encourage it, just for a few minutes. Write it down if you really want to be connected. That's a great way to practice your affirmations. So let's get to our subject of the day. I just pulled a Dr. Nick right there, my buddy. This is what he does every time, and I love it. And I was just thinking about it this morning. I think I might have talked about this before, but you guys, the same sort of things go through my head depending on where my life is at a lot, and I think that it's always like it pertains to our lives, and it's good to reiterate and go through. So good morning, Monica. Thank you so much for joining us. And today I wanted to talk about atrophy. And I woke up and I was doing my, like I do my like progressive pregnancy pictures. So I was doing that, and I have pictures from before my surgery of where my muscles were at. And then I did it, I think, right in between, like somewhere in my injury, like just to see where I was at. And then today I was like, okay, like I just got released yesterday. I went to the doctor, had my, it was like 2.5 months post-op appointment, and I'm able to finally lift, like I can lift this even though it's more than 1 pound. I can lift, watch this. This one's really heavy. It's 5 pounds. So I can lift that. It's really exciting, you guys. It's been 1 pound. My phone is all I've been able to lift in this hand. And I injured myself on February 12th. So it's been literally over 6 months since I've had use of my arm, which you can tell, this is atrophy. I mean, I used to have muscles, and now this is what I have. This is what's going on. So I was thinking about how cool it is that I get to start to building back up. And then I was thinking about how we have times in our life where we choose atrophy, and we have times where atrophy chooses us. And I'm going to explain this with your body and then with our minds, okay? So when atrophy chooses, well, let me say, like, yeah, when atrophy chooses us. Let's do that one first, okay? When atrophy chooses us, what I mean is something in our life, there's the it factor, which life happens, you guys. So it's not like you can completely avoid these types of things because we're not that lucky. We don't get to control everything, right? And life has happened to me a couple different ways over the last 3 years where I've had directed atrophy. It wasn't my choice, right? I had my ankle injury where I was on crutches for 2 months and not really walking much for like 3 months. So there was atrophy of one leg. I wasn't able to use it, right? I mean, like, that's just the fact that it was. I had my concussion where I don't think I really directly had brain atrophy during that time, but it was an unchosen inability to use the function of my brain for about 6 months. Like, I couldn't really do much of any thinking or talking or watching or a lot of things for about that amount of time. That was not chosen by me, right? And then of course this one, like in February, I have this random pop of my arm and go into the doctor and I have to take 2 months to heal myself, then I go to surgery and whatever. Long story short, I go to the doctor yesterday and it's still really swollen. And he was just explaining to me how even the minor injury that I had was like, that's a serious healing process. It's 6 months of healing. And I had that plus a ruptured tendon. So they had to fix a lot of things. So it's like, it's just patience, but I do get to start to build things up. That's been 6 months of I've done like isometrics where I just squeeze my arm like this. That's my workout right now. Like, that's like basically a squeeze. That's been it for the last, I've only been able to do that for 6 weeks, but misuse, not being able to use something has chosen me, or it's just been a circumstance that I've been involved in. And you guys, for that, it's just my attitude about the situation, right? I could have been super pissed off about it. I've heard a lot of people, I've had clients that use it as a great excuse of why they're not gonna work out, why they're not gonna eat right, why it's just, it's just not for me right now. Life's not going for me right now. So I'll just sit back and let it atrophy, right? And here's the thing about atrophy. And if you guys, I don't know if I explained that. I don't know if you guys know what that means. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Emily. But basically what happens is when you're not using something, it starts to go away. Use it or lose it, right? And the physical nature of your muscles is the easiest way to think about that before I go into the mental piece I'm going to, where if you're not using a muscle, there's actual cellular degeneration, like your cells start to go away, the muscle decreases in size, there's decreased amount of blood flow, your metabolism decreases because you're not working that area, right? And that happens within 2 weeks of misuse. Now, if you're completely laid up in a bed, like that might be different. It can happen quicker. It can happen within a week. But within 2 weeks of not using a muscle, it's going to start to go away. That's what happens to our bodies, right? And that can even be worse if your nutrition's not great. Like if you're not eating the correct amount of protein and properly nutrition, like giving your body nutrition, that can happen even quicker. So I've been endured a few situations where I've had forced atrophy and I just choose to focus on something different. Your arm doesn't work, use your abs. Your leg doesn't work, use your arms. Your head doesn't work, I don't know, sleep a lot, like just do what the doctor says. But you just choose to react to the situation, no problem, right? If you choose a no problem attitude. Then the other piece that I want to talk about is when we choose atrophy. So this was atrophy choosing me. Now let's talk about when you choose atrophy. And what I mean by that is you choose to not use it, so you lose it, right? And I have a great example because I just went on basically 8-day road trip with my family. And during that time, you're sitting in a car for a lot of time. For that whole amount of time, and we walked around some and we were active. We did a 7-mile hike. I did a little bit of leg work, like just randomly, but truthfully, I chose atrophy for those days. And I know that it was only 7 days, but this is how I know that my body's being affected by something is I went back to the gym on Saturday and lifted, quote unquote, right, with no weights or whatever I could do. I just did a HIIT training class. And then I ran 5.5 miles on Sunday. And you guys, yesterday I woke up and my whole body was so freaking sore. Like, you guys know the sore that I'm talking about. Like, not kind of sore, but the so freaking sore. And you're like, what did I do? I took a break. Like, it's use it or lose it, right? I had this time away where now I have to re-tear all my muscle fibers so they can grow back stronger. And it kind of hurts. It's okay. Like, I just deal with it. It's just soreness, right? And it's all about your attitude about the soreness as well. But that was me choosing atrophy and then coming back to it. Have you guys ever experienced that? right? Like where you choose not to work out for a while and you go back to the gym and you're like, holy shit, I did not know this was this hard. I didn't know it hurt this bad because you took so much time off. And now you definitely need to give your body a break. Like there's having breaks throughout the week, but you want to lift your muscles about twice per week, each muscle group, at least once per week to keep it going, right? So that you're not losing it. So workout area, because I'm going to go to our mindset completely after this. For you guys, this workout, like if you're working different areas of your body, just it's going to be easier to be respectful and try to do it once a week so that you're not in that pain consistently. And know that when you choose atrophy, and you're coming back to it, that you're gonna be sore. Just like get over it. I did literally 30 push-ups yesterday, you guys. I had to do like sets of 5. My pecs are so freaking sore today because it's been 6 months since I've done a push-up. Like it was ridiculous and they were not good, but who cares, right? It's a little bit of pain, it's a little bit of soreness, move on. Okay, so that's with your body. There's atrophy with your body. Now let's talk about the atrophy that you choose in your life outside of this. Right? So it's one thing with your muscles and that you know that you can choose it or it chooses you. You have to deal with it, or you chose it so you deal with it, right? That's just is what it is. Or you make the choice to be consistent, more consistent in it. But what about the things that you're trying to accomplish in your life, and when you take a break from them, how hard is it for you to go back? So think about a goal that you have. And like we just did the whole workout thing. That one's obvious, right? But if you've had a goal since you've been watching this or you've been doing this, you do your miracle morning routine for 2 months, right? You get it, like it takes a while to form that habit, then you have it and you're rolling with it and you're doing awesome. And then you go on a vacation and then 10 days become 15 days, become 2 months. And now you've chosen to atrophy that muscle that you have to do your morning routine, and getting back into it, you guys, is difficult. It's something that you chose, you just admit that, right? But it's difficult to get back into it. Let's say it's just the practice of being more positive. Like we've talked about the challenges where you walk into the office and you smile every day and you just have a different attitude about the people that are around you. That's easy when you're practicing it day after day after day because it starts to become a part of you. But if you don't use it, you lose it. And then pretty soon it's like, what just happened? Like all of a sudden I'm like Mr. Grumpo or Eeyore again because I didn't use it for so long. And this can be basically brought into any area of your life where we talk about yesterday. Remember, we were talking about going from here to here and bridging that gap, and even having a little bit of lower expectations so you can take baby steps. But the thing with use it or lose it is that's no steps. That's when you choose not to have anything. And when you take no steps, it gets very difficult to go out and do again, because when you challenge yourself and you choose to grow and you make yourself a little uncomfortable, meaning you're pushing yourself, right, in a good way. You're choosing to smile more, you're choosing to work out, you're choosing to show up and, like we were saying yesterday, like just have that conversation with your boss each day, whatever it is, then all of a sudden you choose not to, it's going to be hard to go back to that habit. So this just reiterates what we were talking about yesterday. Morning, everybody else that just joined us, I'm sorry, I was just like into the rest of that and I'm wrapping up here, but it continues to just like bridge what we were talking about yesterday about having incremental small goals that you're working towards. But you guys, when you start to do it, don't lose it, because it can be so challenging for you to get back on it. And then a lot of people, that's where they quit as well. It's like, you know what, I did it for a while, and when I came back, it's just too hard to go back. So create some systems in your life that keep you consistent. If you say you're gonna do something every single week, do it every single week. Punish yourself if you don't. Like, give yourself a reward, or like whether you're better with negative or positive, each one of us is different, right? If you do it, give yourself this. If you don't get to do this. So actually practice that as a part of consistency for your life, so you don't have the chosen atrophy that creates this like this, for some of us, like to get from here to here, right, which we always talk about, it's like we're going this way, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward back. Like it takes us forever to get to the other side because we're not consistent in just the small baby movements going forward, and then it's so freaking hard to start again, right? Okay, so that's atrophy of not only your muscles, but your mind and your actions. And I'm just using the atrophy word as in you're losing the ability and it becomes more difficult, right? It's the quote unquote cellular degeneration of your activities, which just makes it harder for you to do. And it's also talking about you choose some atrophy. And guys, just the like final thing in this is that sometimes I get it. Atrophy chooses you. Life happens, shit happens, and there's situations where you just have to do as much as you can and be as best as you can. Those are the moments when you give the most gratitude. Those are the moments when you really dive into everything that you're thankful for. Like when you can't use your right arm for 6 months, what else can you do, right? You've got 3 other appendages that are super freaking awesome. So if you have something in your life where you're stuck in one of those areas of forced atrophy, just practice gratitude and realize the things that you can do, because it's, you're going to get through it somehow, right? Or you're going to figure out how to deal with whatever it is. And if you're lucky enough not to have forced atrophy, think about all your friends that don't get to use their arm or don't get to use their leg. Like you have 2 perfectly healthy legs. Go out for a walk. Go for a jog. You have a perfectly good, like healthy body. Choose confidence. Choose smiling. Choose kindness, right? Because you can. So that's all I have for today. Good morning, miracle morning, whatever, sunshine morning. You guys, I'm going to go do the most bomb workout for my upper body at 9 and see how bad I can hurt myself so I can try to get some of this back. So it's not so tiny. Love all your faces. If you are brand new, drop a 1 so I know that you are new. If you're just getting on here, still write your good morning sunshine. Share your gratitude, like even if you're just now joining, share your gratitude and share one of your affirmations since it's Tuesday. And then if you have any experience with atrophy in your life that you want to share with other people, we learn from one another and I love to hear that. And some of my miracle morningers are sharing all of their miracle mornings. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Love your faces. Signing out. If you want to get your arms crushed and you're in Brighton, then just come at 9 because that's what I'm going to do. Okay, bye guys.